Okay, let's do the tiny little, like, kind of tippy tuck parts. I'm just gonna call these random names now, but the little parts that stick out here with the shirt. Now, there's kind of two approaches you can go with this. Essentially, you could go with this sort of approach here, these big, sweeping folds like that. I mean, yeah, you can do that too. You can go with smaller, titchy little folds like this one here. Or you could actually go for like a halfway house, I guess, which is something like this, which actually reminds me very much of the kind of ruffled collar we've got going on there. So I'm going to elect to go for smaller ones and just more like this rather than the kind of big sort of sweeping ones like this one here, just because it adds a bit more detail, looks a bit better. Okay, so with the shirt still sort of selected, you can sort of see here, actually we've got a remnant of some of the folds still left over here. Okay, so let's go ahead now, and I know it's long eroded and what have you, but there's no reason why we simply can't restore it like we did before. Okay, so we've got that fold there. I'm almost going to suggest that that fold, we kind of really lean into that, and we sort of bring it into a sharp sort of drooping angle like that. Okay, you can even emphasize it a little bit more using the move tool. Now, I don't want it to look so lumpy as it currently does right now. Okay, so in order to fix that up, just trim dynamic that, but oops, maybe not too much, just a little bit. And I'll kind of trim dynamic it right on the ends as well. Okay, just to give the suggestion that it's kind of a fold like that. Okay, let's see how that looks. There you go. And you could almost sort of say, well, hey, I'm kind of done there, but I'm going to take it a bit further. Okay, so let's solo that out. I might want to do a crease there somewhat, and then kind of split that into an overlapping one. And you can just sort of see there that I've just kind of achieved by using the damn standard brush. Okay, and we could also do something there, but we're not really going to worry about any areas that we can't see. We're just going to focus on this because she's never going to be without her vest, so her vest is a critical piece of her outfit, so there's no need to kind of spend effort on a part that we're not going to see. Okay, so we're just going to worry about what is visible and not worry about what is not visible, essentially. I know that sounds very simple and obviously very kind of logical, and yes, you don't need to tell me that type thing, but you can get carried away sometimes just by kind of pursuing detail and whatnot. Okay, so something like that is probably actually, if we just bring it a bit lower, it's probably actually alright just for the first kind of section there, although we do want to tartan it up a little bit, make it look a little bit better than that, a bit more natural looking, and maybe we don't want it sticking out so much. Kind of move it back in. Let's lower the subdivision level a bit so it's a bit easier to work with. Let's see how that looks. Yes, that looks a bit better. Let's create a straighter sort of fold. There we go. And we'll just kind of see this guy here, it's kind of bulging out there. Let's take the trim dynamic brush and we'll just kind of bulldoze that away. Like so. Okay, there we go. And of course we haven't done anything like the shirt line and stuff like that, so the shirt line is probably going to, we can just kind of fake it a little bit, just sort of give the impression that the seam is there, even though it's probably not going to be there, but again, just extra detail. Okay, increase that res again so we can see what that looks like. Let's just do maybe a fold like that. And there we go. Pretty nifty, eh? It's pretty cool. This part over here, let's do something quite drastic. Why don't we just sort of let's clay build up. Why not? Let's use clay build up. I know that seems a bit drastic perhaps, but it's good at getting fast results, and we'll just kind of cleave any part we don't want away. So what have we got here? We've got this kind of weird sort of curvature. Let's lean into that. Let's split it off a bit. Let's add a few creases here and there. You can sort of see that over time, as you keep working with fabric folds and whatnot, it just almost becomes like second nature. So you can see there I've got a pretty quick and dirty fabric fold already. And here, let's kind of lean into this part here with being a bit of a recess. So we'll use the inflate brush, we'll use the inverse function. And let's just use a quick little standard brush there just to kind of sculpt in something there. And sort of suggest something like that. And you can carry it all the way through if you like, but just bear in mind you won't see most of it. Okay, so again, just selling the idea. Okay, well, how does that look? Yeah, that looks pretty good. I think I'll just sort of straighten that up a little bit. Let's go here, and I'll just use the move topological brush and just kind of straighten that edge out a bit more. That's a pretty straight edge. I'm okay with that. I think I'll bring that out. Oh, maybe not so much there, but there perhaps. Kind of basically make it look like it's sticking out the vest a bit. Yep, something like that. And of course we don't want it clipping with the belt, so let's just bring the standard brush in. Oh no, we don't want to expose it all. Wrong button, meant to hit solo. And let's just tuck it under like that. Okay. There you go. So you can sort of see we're creating very sort of quick little what can we say? Little kind of formations here that just look like parts of the shirt sticking through. And then the satchel, well, we said that, you know, if the satchel is always going to be there, we don't need to worry about it. But let's just go ahead and we'll do our due diligence. Actually, it's covered by the belt. Still, let's go ahead. We'll just add something very quick. So again, let's use the clay build-up brush. Let's just do something very quick. Let's just do something there. And we'll just kind of take out some extra relief there. See what that looks like. Okay, so you can barely see anything, any of what I've just kind of done there. I was sort of sculpting in all the areas you actually couldn't really see, which of course that would be right. Okay, so let's just do something simple. There you go, something like that. What does that look like? Yeah, looks okay, except it looks a bit kind of odd a little bit, so let's build the clay builder brush. Let's kind of put some volume in there and just smooth that out. There we go. So that looks a little bit less odd now, and we'll kind of trim dynamic that down a bit so it looks a bit more like an actual fold. It just kind of sticks out there, and that looks a little bit more natural. Okay, and we could actually change the trajectory of this. Let's make it into, I don't know, something like this almost. Let's get it to go all the way around, and then now we've got a little kind of pocket or something there. Can increase the res on that to see what that looks like, and let's just bring out the move topological brush, and we'll just, you don't always have to fold over the belt of course, but it's probably going to be quite common for the shirt to spill out. If you've ever worn like a dress shirt and stuff like that, office shirt, whatever you'd like to call it, the best thing they do is spill out. Okay, and this shirt, even though it's not a office shirt per se, she's not an office worker, it's essentially very, very similar. So these guys have a tendency to spill out wherever they possibly can, basically. Okay, and actually, tell you what, why don't we add in a nice kind of little like a little alcove type thing, you know, like we were creating earlier. Let's not make it too deep though. We'll just create a little thing like that, and we'll just score it with the damn standard brush. Okay, something like that. Let's just inflate this little area here. There we go. And we'll just go to a higher subdivision level, and we'll just kind of trim this up a bit. Nope, not there. Let's go on the top. There we go. So what does that look like? Okay, spilled over a bit, but we can soon sort that out. There we go. Just kind of shift it a bit. Okay. And I think I could see the potential for another sort of kind of fold there as well. Just sort of like that. Don't know what I'm trying to do there. Let's see. Let's just cut it in. Yeah, I don't know. Something like that. Okay. Okay, that doesn't look bad. There we go. We've got spillage, essentially, of the kind of dress shirt underneath. That's cool. Again, we can come back to that a little bit later. Okay. And I suppose you could actually do the same for the very small part of the collar we see up here. Depending upon what your ruffles look like and how big they are and what kind of style you've chosen to go with. Okay, so I'm just going to spend a bit of time here just sort of just doing some very quick folds. Maybe not at that subdivision level. Let's just come down a bit. And you can sort of see the Marvelous Designer one still there, so you can just kind of follow that guide essentially. Okay, don't forget to do your due diligence after using the standard brush. Come in with the damn standard brush and just pick a few areas just to kind of look at, you know, and just kind of put that in. You see just a little few strokes there really help. And then of course, because we might see this at some point, let's just draw a straight line, click and hold shift, let go, and then let's do another one. Click and hold shift, press alt this time. There we go. Oops, that didn't work out. Okay, let's do that manually. Let's just go. Let's do it this way. Let's use the inverse function of the damn standard brush just to create that shirt seam all the way down. Not going to carry it all the way down. We're just going to suggest it essentially. Oh, maybe make it a bit wider than that. Just in case we happen to see it. It's there. Okay. And of course there will be all sorts of tiny like little kind of creases like that there as well. Okay, but obviously smooth them out. We don't want them to look like teeth marks. Okay, but that's fair just in case the ruffles sort of disappear. And actually I think for another video later on though, but we will swap to something else now. You see, for example, here, I might want to come in a little bit later on and sort of add in some smaller sort of kind of fabric folds here. Just sort of doing smaller little ones here. At the moment, we've got some, I feel like we've got some good general folds, but maybe it could also benefit with just doing some smaller folds like that essentially. Just some finer ones, almost at the highest subdivision level, just to create some interesting shapes and make the shirt sort of stand out a little bit more. Okay, so something like, let's see, just like I created one there. Okay, so just some shorter, smaller little kind of ruffles, just with the damn standard brush. We may occasionally swap to the standard brush just to sort of do something, well, a little bit like that, you know, just to sort of create a interesting kind of variation in the shirt essentially. Okay, just so that we haven't got these big folds, we've got these kind of smaller kind of dimply sort of folds, kind of almost like what we were doing with the inflate brush there, but the standard brush is having a better effect just to kind of create that there. Okay, but again, that will be at another time. I don't want to spend too much time on the shirt now, kind of getting it all done. I like to do a very fine detail pass a little bit later on, which we haven't done the seams for the shirt yet. Okay, we've done the seam for where the shirt is in the middle, but all that kind of stuff I want to leave till the very end once the kind of detail has been sort of sculpted in. Okay, so what we're going to do in the next part is we're going to revisit the trousers, just give it a once over and sort of have a look. Are there any key aspects we want to add back into the trousers again now that the shirt has been completed? For now.